Are you ready to have your mind blown? What if I told you that there was a game made in the 90s that sold over 4 million copies whose topic was about books?
No! No!
Butterfly in the sky, I can go twice as high. Take a look in a book, a reading rainbow.
The collected works of Edgar Allan Poe. Together it's going to be about $2,500 in late rental fees, seeing as it's been since 1758 that you've made this delivery. Would you like that in check, cash, or credit?
That's not gonna work out.
What do you mean it's not going to work out? That's how we work. That's how the overdue rental fees work at this level.
Actually, I think I'm just gonna take a different route. If that's okay with you. You know what? Wrong book.
Wrong book, you said. What are you planning here, sir? We have security all over.
Definitely not where I'm supposed to. Hello? 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 Hello?
Hey, do you know the plastic but you're afraid of trying too hard? Try our new tuxedo t-shirts from Tuxedo, the makers of the Tuxedo. Do you hate sitting down? Try it. No, you're welcome. Do you really despise advertising? Just pay us $2,500 and I promise we'll stop trying to reach. Where's my $2,500?
Do you like grass? Find this one.
We leave off those rentals. You can't just leave off like that. You want it?
Fortunately, when making their brand new game for 2016, the Miller brothers from Cyan Worlds had the foresight to know what a disaster making another Myst game in 2016 would be, and instead decided to scrap having any kind of books in their video game, and instead talking about aliens. Which honestly, if we follow a timeline of the History Channel from back then to now, we'll see the same trend. This explains everything. This is why there are stupid people in the world. Aliens have abducted all the books. Dostoevsky. No! Now, world teleportation is still a thing in Obduction. Don't worry, that will never change. So long as there's a Myst game, there are worlds to explore. You're never limited to just one place. But if you thought that the teleportation of Myst was dull and drab with its green screened fade effect of whoever touches the book, well, don't you worry. Obduction, as you covered, they've made an interesting transition screen. Now, instead of being graced by the works of, well, hello? Is anyone out there? Now your screen is full of colorful dots as they form into the new world that you're entering, like some kind of reassembled Jackson Pollock painting. Oh yeah, and I guess the books have been replaced by these colorful orb things that are scattered around the world that kinda displace a sphere around wherever they are. I don't know, it's aliens, guys. Despite the changes, I was still excited for Obduction. A game that lets me go and explore alien worlds that I've never seen before, created by some of the most creative puzzle makers and story crafters that I've ever seen in the gaming industry. And just like the Myst games of old, this game opens up with a narrator, giving you an entire narrative of a world that you have no hope of understanding until you've beaten the game.
We all lost everything.
Uh-huh.
Everything but our stories.
Yes,
and they
yes.
shouldn't be forgotten. I was 3.
Yes, I get it.
April of 1983.
I'm not with you at all. The train left the station and I wasn't on board. Something's going on. Abort! You left me no choice. I must read the wiki. After all that narration, though, you're finally given free reins to explore the new alien landscape set before you, which happens to be a slice of Arizona? I'm not sure if that constitutes an alien landscape, but I mean, the people there are kinda aliens. But I digress. As we explore the barren alien landscape of Arizona, we happen across some interesting characters.
Hello, bonjour, ciao, hola, hello, shora, ni hao. Welcome to Hunrad. My name is Joseph. I am the mayor here.
After my brief conversation with this man on the alien world of Arizona, I realized the #1 reason why I would never want to meet an alien. Oh my gosh, the language barrier's so impossible. I can't even understand this alien. After passing by him, we eventually make it to a strange house that has a projector talking about a girl who sounds like she's being recorded for a bad take of America's Funniest Home Videos.
Okay, yeah, what? Okay, that's enough.
Then there's CW. For those of you that don't know Myst, the primary protagonist who we eventually meet in the game of Myst is called Atrus, and he's an intelligent, bookworm type fellow who's so good at what he does, writing books that link to worlds and other places. In Obduction, instead of Atrus, we get his kind of backwater hillbilly equivalent, CW. I think the most poignant comparison I can make is imagine Navi, but instead of telling you where to go and what to do all the time, she instead tells you,
perhaps I weren't as clear as I needed to be. Will you get that carbon power turned on while I work on my part here? I ain't got
Unfortunately, CW's lack of helping you is systemic. It's not that I need a game to handhold me, I definitely don't want that. But because of the lack of direction the game gives, the majority of the time that you spend on Hunrath is spent looking for the puzzles. The biggest puzzle on Hunrath is finding the puzzles. Again, this is just really an issue on Hunrath. The other worlds are a bit more linear, so I don't really find that it was that difficult in those cases. But Hunrath itself is so big, spread out, and almost open world in nature, that finding exactly what it is you needed to do to utilize the primary mechanic of Hunrath's world was really difficult. In the game's context, they give you a book that explains it, but with something that's so integral to being able to get anywhere in the game whatsoever, a little bit of help wouldn't have hurt. Just maybe, putting it somewhere where I have to use it that is obvious instead of having it set off in a hidden corner of the world. It doesn't help that that mechanic is something that you can't use when you initially go to that section. So you try to use the mechanic and then go, didn't work. I guess I'm not trying that again. Why did I even think that would work? So stupid! But it's alright, to compensate for its size, Obduction does have the sense to gate Hunrath into little sections where doors blockade your progress and you need to solve a puzzle to be able to open up shortcuts until you eventually get to go everywhere once you're completely accustomed with the deserts of Arizona. In Myst, we didn't have the gates, but Myst was also probably a quarter of the size of Hunrath. So, can't really blame them for trying to make things a little more sensible. But enough, this level is reminding me too much of the start of Uru, which is the one Myst game that I'm not so sure I actually liked that much. Welcome to the second world of Obduction, Captar, home of mountains, beetles, and things. There's a fully fleshed out culture of people that used to live here but no longer do, and you can read that all in the big dossier book located in the house on Hunrath, probably compared to the mechanical age in Myst. Of all the worlds in Obduction, I'd say that this one probably captures what I'm looking for in a Myst level the most. Get it? Captures, because it's Captar. Okay, we're moving on. Here on the scenic land of Captar, you have mountains ranging high into the clouds. Too bad you'll have to bring some pretty big bug repellent because this place is infested. This is the Myst I remember. Levers, cogs, machinery, gizmos, gadgets, buttons to press, and contraptions so convoluted even Rube Goldberg is scratching his head and wondering why they didn't use a gerbil instead of the 50 cogs they used to make one elevator go up or down. But every one of those 50 cogs is the coolest contraption ever. Captar wins a gold medal for its incredible variety while sticking to a theme. You got your gizmos and your gadgets and your whatsits, you got your panels, you have your cogs that spin, your levers that make other things attach to other things that lead to chains that lead to elevators and shafts. And while all these levers and cogs are beautifully constructed and well structured, I'm afraid to tell you that the puzzles do eventually have to come to an end. We can't just be puzzling our way through life. We have an obligation to the great man, CW, who gave us a chance to turn on his generator for him. Why are we helping him? This game has fewer goals than the amount of goals that were scored on Kipo while I was playing Blitzball in Final Fantasy X. Now I know that's the appeal of these old games, but even if you weren't explicitly told where you needed to go, there was always a visual goal. Some kind of tower or object that's pronounced and not that far away. The goal in Obduction really is to link up the linking trees, which are like linking books, but they're before the age of paper. The only problem is that these linking trees are more like linking bushes, and you're very unlikely to see them in the massive amounts of things and clutter that this game just loves to throw at you. I mean, it wasn't even until 2 levels later that I realized, while riding the particle effect train through Captar, that there was even a tree that I hadn't noticed there before. When I saw it, I went, so I could have just teleported out of here using that the whole time, and I didn't even need to do everything else. What is that now? Captar, I thought we were friends. You were hiding the tree from me? It's like you were trying to explore IKEA, but as you were passing through, you eventually wanted to go to the exit, and on your way out, you ended up back at the entrance instead. Sure, you can get out, but you didn't go the way you were supposed to, and that just feels a little bit weird. As far as I'm concerned, linking up these trees is complete and total busy work anyway. CW never explains how they work or why they're important. So we go, link up all the trees, and by the end of the game, CW is just like, great work there, dude. I finished building my contraption so we can go home. Yay for me. But whatever, I linked up the pink-purple trees, so the world of Captar is done. Let's move on to the next one, Marae. Hello, welcome to Marae, a jungle planet suspended on rope bridges where you spend most of your time conducting base 4 arithmetic in matrix form. Not up to the challenge of a math puzzle? Don't worry, we have other puzzles too. Like this one where you spin objects in one world, then teleport it to another where you have to spin it and then teleport it back so that you can make a maze with the pieces that you can only see some of the time, with each teleport taking about 30 to 45 seconds of load times. By the way, you'll probably be teleporting back and forth at least 6 times to do it correctly, and perhaps 40 if you don't know what you're doing. Between those load times, might I recommend looking at the rest of the volume of Timbertaft's collection of videos from the years 2014 through 2016. Listen, I'm not gonna stand on a podium and tell you that a puzzle's hard and then say that that's the reason I don't like a game. Hard is good. At least I certainly hope that's what you told your grandmother when she gave you those cookies that by definition were most certainly hard. But enough about your grandma's cookies. Now it is the time for me to show you what the amazing wonders of Marae have in store.
Well, folks, we have a genuine piece of alien equipment here. Now going once, going twice, $3 million for the base 4 arithmetic matrix designed for communicating with light bridges across the entirety of Marae's surface. Created by the lame people who live on Marae. In fact, scrap the $3 million. If you can just figure out how to solve this puzzle, I will give it to you for free. That's right, free. No bottom down. To make things easier for you, I'm even going to translate what you're putting into the base 4 arithmetic matrix for you, just so that you understand the mistake that you're making them as you're making them. Sir, you entered 3, a very wise choice, but let me tell you, you could have also entered a 1, 2, or 4. It wouldn't have mattered because all you needed was a 1-digit value to get this correctly. You see, sir, this thing comes equipped with autocorrect more invasive than your iPhones will ever be. That's right, it is the standardized equivalent of taking a line like, I want to meet you at the ball, and translated it to, I want to meet you at the dick. Now that'll be $3 million, sir, because I meant to say 3 million earlier instead of free, but it got autocorrected when I put that message into the base 4 arithmetic matrix. Oh, by the way, I hope you haven't been relying on autocorrect to make all your corrections for you, because by the time you get to the end of the level, it's actually going to expect you to enter it in manually. Now, if you excuse me, sir, I'm going to go ahead and take this money that I just have here, and I'm going to go ahead and leave before this buyer's remorse kicks in and you understand that you just got hoodwinked.
By the time you make it to the end of the level, the game expects that you already have a pretty strong understanding of this base 4 arithmetic stuff, and so they throw you into the deep water. The answer has to be smiley face. No, that can't be it. Smiley face? No, smiley face is dumb. It can't be that. 354 written across 4 different bases in a 4-base scale? Nah. Oh, smiley face, it has to be. If those 2 puzzles that I just described to you didn't tickle your brain, then nothing else will in this level because that's all there is. It's 2 really big, overarching puzzles that you better understand by the time you're done. Now for the last world. Soria, where is the entrance to this world? I don't know where this world is. Eeny, meeny, miny. Found it. After a week in the deserts of Arizona trying to find the entrance to Soria, you finally made it. Welcome to this burnt, rubbery, purple land known as Soria. All around me are familiar places. There's nothing here, there's no people, there's no places, there's nothing. There's a tree. This is the home of the Mofang, and I'd sooner find a squirrel here than any actual aliens, and that's Obduction. If you noticed my coverage of each area shrinking as I went on, that's because each area was smaller than the last the closer you got to the end of the game. Now I do admit Obduction managed to get me reminiscing about the old days of Myst. A certain lack of polish and obviously rushed production by the end though does leave a little bit of a bitter taste in my mouth, though it still managed to serve its purpose. I, for one, am happy to see the old studio back at it again with the old game. Sure, it might not be Myst, but it's pretty dang close. And so long as they're making games, it means that the IP can't fall in the wrong hands. Lord only knows what might have happened if somebody else had gotten it instead.
Come here often? Come here often? Well, maybe you should. Now let's go back the way you came. I told you to go back the way you came. Come here often?
Hey there everybody, this is Timbertaft, and thank you for watching my video. If you liked it, please remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to see more content like this one. Or if you'd like, you can go ahead and click on the giant video playing before you to see a playlist of videos I've done in the past. I've started to do streaming more regularly, so if you happen to be in the neighborhood and check out YouTube Gaming or twitch.tv/Timbertaft on Thursdays and occasionally on Sundays, you'll be able to catch me in the evening hours playing video games for no particular reason other than for my own amusement. Feel free to come to the chat and say hi. I always love seeing familiar faces or new faces that have suddenly become familiar. If watching me live isn't your thing, you can also check out my Twitter or Facebook at twitter.com/Timbertaft or facebook.com/Timbertaft, where I will occasionally post updates about what's going on with my life and the progress of videos as they're coming. Additionally, I do have a Patreon page, patreon.com/Timbertaft, that you can go to donate, and all proceeds will go towards helping to facilitate making more videos in the future. In addition to the Patreon page itself, you can also find an announcement video that'll be released in the next couple days detailing exactly what you can expect from that. Alright, I think that's everything for now. Thank you all for watching. See you guys next time.